For 200 years, 1 square mile of hillside in the south of France has decided what the world smells like. It's called Grasse, and until recently, nobody outside it could compete. Industry data has treated Grasse as the undisputed engine room of luxury scent for generations. Chanel, Dior, and Guerlain built empires here, training noses who could distinguish over 2,000 individual smells. The formula was simple: French heritage plus rare naturals plus master craftsmanship equals a bottle no one else could touch. And yet, by 2026, one of the fastest growing fragrance brands on the planet isn't French. It isn't even European. It's manufactured in Sharjah, in the United Arab Emirates, sells for under $15 a bottle, and reportedly reconstructs a formula that took a Parisian perfumer years to perfect in a matter of weeks. Business of Fashion has openly called Dubai a hotbed for this exact activity. So the question isn't whether it's happening. It's how a desert manufacturing hub with no historical claim to perfumery managed to shake an industry that has survived 2 world wars, the fall of empires, and 100 years of fashion cycles. What's unfolding is not simple counterfeiting. It's something structurally different. A reverse engineering economy built on chemistry, psychology, and a supply chain France itself helped create. Over the next few minutes, this video breaks down how it works, why French houses can't simply sue their way out of it, and what public data suggests is actually happening to the broken French perfume industry.
To understand this shift, the myth has to be dismantled first. Public consensus imagines a clone as a crude counterfeit. Same bottle, same label, illegal from the start. That's not what's driving this disruption. A counterfeit is a fake sold as the real product. A clone, or dupe, is a separately formulated fragrance sold under its own name, designed to evoke the scent profile of a luxury original. And that distinction is the entire reason this industry is legal. Myth: clones are made by copying a formula. Reality: perfumers use mass spectrometry to reverse engineer the impression of a scent, then rebuild it from scratch using cheaper materials. Industry analysts describe a typical process of substitution. A rare natural like oud oil, priced near $30,000 per kilogram, gets replaced by a synthetic oud accord, costing a tiny fraction of that. The character shifts slightly. To a trained nose, it's noticeable. To most consumers, reports suggest, it registers simply as close enough. And the speed is the part almost no one outside the industry appreciates. According to reporting from Perfume Industry Trade Press, a skilled dupe formulator can produce a convincing reconstruction in 2 to 4 weeks. The most efficient operations manage it in days. Gulf-based factories are reported to be producing finished eau de parfum for costs measured in single dollars per unit. Product that then retails for a fraction of the French original, while still returning healthy margin. This is where the open loop from the introduction starts to close. Grasse isn't just a birthplace of technique, it's also, historically, an exporter of raw aromatic materials to the rest of the world. Public trade data shows France remains the largest exporter of luxury fragrance globally. The irony industry watchers keep circling back to: many of the synthetic aroma chemical suppliers used by Gulf dupe manufacturers are the same global chemical conglomerates that also supply the French houses. The playing field for raw ingredients was never as closed as the marketing suggested. The obvious follow-up question: if this is disruption on this scale, why hasn't litigation ended it? Public court filings answer that. Scent itself, under most trademark systems, cannot be trademarked. What luxury houses can protect is the bottle shape, the branding, and specific marketing language. That's a narrower shield than most viewers assume. Take the viral storm surrounding the Gulf brand Lattafa. When its fragrance Camera went viral across social media,
consumers instantly recognized it as a dead ringer for the warm, boozy profile of Kilian's $300 Angel share. Yet, luxury parent companies rarely file sweeping lawsuits against the clone factories themselves. Why? Because as long as the packaging shape is altered slightly and the luxury brand's trademark name is left off the bottle, the law is hands-off. Instead, legal teams are forced to play whack-a-mole, targeting secondary retail websites and online boutiques that use explicit digital dupe lists to divert search traffic. This is the structural loophole the entire dupe economy operates inside. As long as a company avoids counterfeit branding, no stolen logos, no false claims of being the same product, and instead markets itself as inspired by or inviting comparison, it operates in a legally defensible middle ground. Consumer protection lawyers describe this as a matter of truthful advertising rather than prohibition. Honest comparison marketing, however aggressive, is largely protected. So legally, the clones aren't going anywhere, which raises the real question underneath this whole story. If French Perfume can't out-litigate the dupe economy, is it actually losing to it?
Here's where the title of this video earns its contrarian snap. Public trade statistics do not show a collapsing French perfume industry. They show the opposite. France's fragrance exports reportedly reached roughly 8 billion euros in a recent year, marking a double-digit year-over-year increase. The French market overall is projected to keep expanding through the next decade. Grasse alone still accounts for more than 2/3 of France's natural perfume ingredient production, and more than 60 perfume-related companies remain headquartered there. So what actually broke? Community fragrance tracking forums and market analysts point to a segmentation, not a collapse. The pressure is concentrated almost entirely in the accessible mass market tier. The fragrances positioned as everyday, affordable luxury. That's precisely the tier Gulf clone brands compete in directly. Meanwhile, the ultra-premium niche segment, where a bottle can run several $100s, and buyers are paying explicitly for rare naturals and brand heritage, is reportedly growing at a faster rate than the market overall. Consumer behavior data reinforces this split. Younger buyers, in particular, are reported to be layering, mixing an inexpensive Gulf-made oil with a niche French spray to build a signature scent, rather than treating any single bottle as sacred. Analysts note this reflects a broader shift. Fragrance is increasingly being treated as a customizable form of self-expression, rather than a single loyalty purchase. That behavior change, more than any lawsuit, is what's reshaping how French houses now have to compete. Not on scarcity alone, but on story, ingredient traceability, and experience. And French houses have noticed. Public reporting shows major maisons responding by acquiring their own growing land in Grasse to guarantee exclusive access to raw materials the clone economy structurally cannot replicate. A rose field can't be reverse engineered from a mass spectrometry readout. It can only be owned. This is the nuance that resolves the opening tension. The Gulf clone economy has genuinely disrupted affordability, accessibility, and how younger consumers relate to fragrance ownership. That part of the broken industry narrative holds up, but it hasn't broken French Perfume's actual foundation, its control over rare natural ingredients, decades of brand narrative, and a growing segment of buyers willing to pay specifically for authenticity, not just scent similarity. Even more striking, public statements from Gulf-based brands themselves increasingly acknowledge the ceiling of the clone model. Some are reported to be investing in original, proprietary ingredients, specifically to move away from dupe status altogether, suggesting even the disruptors recognize that reverse engineering alone has a limited shelf life as a long-term brand strategy. So what actually happened here? Not a takeover, a segmentation. The mass, everyday fragrance tier has been genuinely and permanently reshaped by a faster, cheaper, chemically sophisticated Gulf manufacturing economy, one operating in a legal gray zone that trademark law was never built to close. But the premium tier,
the one built on rare naturals, land ownership, and decades of narrative, has by public data actually strengthened under the same pressure. For consumers navigating this landscape, a few structural takeaways hold up across the data. A dupe marketed honestly as inspired by is a legitimate legal product, not a scam. A dupe using someone else's logo, name, or exact packaging is a counterfeit and a different legal category entirely. And ingredient origin, not price alone, is usually the clearest signal of which tier a bottle actually belongs to. The French perfume industry didn't get broken. It got forced to answer a question it had never really had to face before. When a convincing copy costs $15, what exactly are people paying $300 more to actually own?